Being a referee or an umpire is a really difficult job. You never win. But I want to watch today's video, which looks at an AFL umpire on one of the biggest days of the year, that is Anzac Day.
This feels like more than a game today. You know, I did Easter Monday just a week ago, and, you know, that was great. And this is sort of, yeah, much different in terms of just the build-up of it all. So I would say, yeah, it's certainly the biggest home and away game I've ever done.
This is the thing, as a referee or umpire, you've got to take away the emotions of a game. It is just a game, whether that's cup finals. In this instance, it's Anzac Day, whether it's two rival clubs. You have got to stay impartial, and you've got to forget about the emotional side of the game. Otherwise, it will affect your performance.
First Anzac game today. It's an amazing opportunity, and I feel very privileged to be chosen and represent the group with two great mates, Brett Rosebery and Hayden Gavin. So, yeah, we're pumped. In fact, to help me sort of get as much out of the day as possible, I rang a couple of ex-umpires. I talked to Sean Ryan, he's umpired 6 Anzac Day games. He said the first 5 minutes, they're not going to hear your whistle. So don't panic, you know. It's loud.
That's getting into what I just said. You know, the crowd's going to be loud. The players are going to be loud. You've got to stay at that calm, consistent level. You are the neutral. You are the calming, you know, the rock in the game, you know. So you've got to, you know, you can't let the occasion take over.
I've been to quite a few Anzac Days the last few years as well, and it's just unbelievable before the match. The oath and the last post and everything's just extraordinary. So I'm so pumped to be a part of that. Brett Rosebery and Hayden Gavin and I have umpired. This will be our 5th out of 6 weeks together. They are two of the greatest blokes. Brett is such a selfless man, so genuine and generous, and Gav, we got on the list together and just got on like 2 peas in a pod. When you're out there, you have so much confidence in your umpiring ability, because if you're unsure of something, you know your teammate, you know Brett or Gav, whoever's there, are gonna, you know, pick it up for you. Couldn't think of 2 other guys I'd like to go out there with today.
So this is very similar in when you're in a team of 3 in football. I will relate it to football because that's what I know. When you're working as a 3 or even a 4 sometimes, where you're in the middle, you've got 2 linos, or maybe you're the lino, it really is about teamwork. And there has been plenty of times I've been on the line, running the line in football, and the man in the middle doesn't want anything to do with you, doesn't want your help, and the game goes downhill. Because if you can work as a team, get decisions correct by working together, that shows. That really, really does show. You get less grief from the managers and players because they know that you're doing a good job and you're working together. So that is so key. Now, obviously, it's more difficult at the lower levels that I referee at. But at the top levels in the Premier League, you would hope that the referees are working together more often and therefore can build that rapport.
There's a lot of things I love about umpiring. Probably the 2 main reasons are that I get to be a part of AFL football in some capacity, and also the friendships and the mateships that I've developed and I have because of umpiring. What got me into umpiring was to earn money initially. So I'd just been selected to go to England to play cricket and needed money to fund that trip. So the only way to get money at that young age was to mow lawns, wash cars, or umpire football.
You know, in 23 years umpiring at the AFL, you know, we've seen lots of things change, game styles, the way we've umpired and set up our structures, and probably the biggest change has been the scrutiny, the attention from the media. There was lots of learning in those early stages. You know, I got dropped for 6 weeks. I think it was like game 11 into my career. Matty Knight's and Liberatore incident at the G.
Oh, there is a time. And Matty's going in now. Look at this. Oh, it is right in there.
Just, got really overawed with the whole management that happened after that incident.
He has been whacked.
Moments like that were great learning opportunities and really set me up for the next time that things happened out on the field, that I made sure I knew how to manage it differently. I always laughed that Libba only got 5 weeks at the tribunal. I got 6 from the AFL and I didn't hit anyone.
That's nonsense. That is utter nonsense. I'm going to say it's very similar in that with football, you're taught to manage the game. You know, for example, if there's a mass confrontation like that, I would be sitting back watching. They will disperse most of the time. I'm only a short lad. I wouldn't get stuck in, and you've got to watch, but you hope to manage the game so it doesn't get to that stage. What I'm wondering as well is, in football, the referees aren't allowed to speak after the game. We're not allowed to give our opinions on and say why we gave certain decisions. In the Premier League, the referees get so much scrutiny by the pundits, and they're not allowed to explain any of their decisions and why they gave them. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I think the referee decisions are awful. But at least if the referee could explain why they gave a decision, it might make the scrutiny a little bit less, and the fans may actually think, oh, okay, fair enough. I'm wondering if that's the same with AFL umpires. Are they actually allowed to have a voice after the game? I'm going to assume not.
I've been told by mum and dad, like, I've always wanted to, ever since I was little, I've always wanted to umpire. You know, they tell stories of when I used to walk the ball out for my dad because he was an umpire. I just grew up with this sort of fascination of umpiring. I was, you know, blowing the whistle in the backyard, practicing bouncing the ball. And this is when I'm, 6. When people say, why umpire? Like, why do you choose umpiring? I just love it. Like, I love the challenge of it.
There's a few reasons why you might like it. Sorry if I'm interrupting a lot. For me, I couldn't play anymore because of injuries. I couldn't play. I couldn't keep up with the standard because of fitness and injuries. You still want to be a part of the game. But I also love being that man with the whistle that is in charge of the game. A little bit Napoleon syndrome. That's why I love it. And I think all referees and umpires like having that power.
I love the feeling when you're out there. It's just amazing.
Just keep giving yourself time in the contest. Slow the tackle down.
Yeah.
Time. No rushing your decision making.
Yeah.
In the first 5-10 minutes, don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
All right, don't try any harder.
Yeah.
Have fun, fellas. Enjoy it, yeah.
About to get underway in this Anzac Day clash, the 27th time it has happened between these two sides on this day. About to get underway in this Anzac Day clash. Huge crowd in.
There's 84,000 people here and us 3 are in control of the game. We're managing this game. How cool is that?
Nathan Williamson holds the
That's
ball.
what it's all about.
They're ready to go. $80,000 plus, and Nathan Williamson to get us underway with.
Think about it. For 5 seconds, who is the man at the centre of this game? He is, right? So, you are the important person in that game, even if it's only for 5 seconds, and the feeling that must give. With 100,000 people watching in the stadium, more people watching at home, the feeling that must give is incredible.
Grundy and Draper. Grundy wins the knock.
I remember thinking, oh my God, I feel so good at the moment. I didn't feel any angst with the noise. I felt really calm and composed. So I actually banked the moment and thought, next time you're in this situation where everything's going berserk, just remember you were calm.
You try and embrace it as much as possible. Like, I know that the nerves are going to be there and I'm going to feel anxious, but not to try and fight it, just to try and embrace the occasion. But once the first bounce happens, it's sort of, you settle into the game pretty good.
I think it's good to have some nerves, and I've done an Anzac Day for probably 10 years, so it was a little bit nervous.
Down to Dacos. Josh with a long look into the pockets.
I watched this game. It was pretty good.
Clear out. Jack.
We love umpiring AFL footy, and to be out there with some of the most amazing moments in the history, I was fortunate to be In Launceston the day Buddy kicked 13. Don't remember lots of games, but you do remember real special moments.
There's a lot of things I love about umpiring, just the experiences that you get with umpiring. My first year got to go to Shanghai to do the match over there. My second and third year on the list went to America to be part of the AFL USA trip, and then my fourth year, due to COVID, got to spend 4 months up in the Gold Coast, which was great because I got to share that with 33 other umpires on the list and really got to live with them and know them a little bit more.
The opportunity that we have as individuals and for our family and our friends to experience with us as well is incredible.
See, this is the thing, isn't it? Like, if as a fan you get to witness these occasions, these magical moments, right? So, for example, recently Buddy scoring 1,000, right? As a fan, you get to witness that. Okay. As an umpire, you get to witness it, but you're a part of it as well. It's that added extra, and it's the memories that they create.
To go, he coming hard at him. Meyer checks there as well, hovering over the footy.
They must get fed up with knowing how this will work.
Drag it back in.
Tied on the ball.
I would say that I've structured my whole week around umpiring AFL footy, even though I still hold down a full-time job. You know, whether it's doing rehab during your lunch.
Hang on. So this guy is a professional AFL umpire, but he's still got a full-time job. I'm going to say that's bad. You know, if you're expecting to be performing at a professional standard, you need to have that as your profession. I know a lot of referees at the highest levels of football still have sort of second jobs, or they have a career that they were in and, you know, they may have sidelined it, or they still have that business maybe, but it's sort of to the side being managed elsewhere. So they still, you know, Premier League referees, that's what we've got to compare it to. Premier League and AFL, you've got to compare it because it's the similar standard. These guys have got to be professional, right? Surely. That's bizarre and slightly wrong if the AFL are not paying these guys enough to have as their professional career.
Break or training in the morning or flexing your day with your employer to get in your training requirements.
That's
or
bad.
Jumping online for coaching sessions. It really is a lifestyle commitment that you and your family set up.
Still, it's in a dangerous spot, Ginnivan. Will he drag a high free? He has.
Behind. Mark's here. Mark's here. That's your angle. Play on.
Now he's got two.
Ginnivan has
Physicality with
been having a
umpiring
worldie this season.
is challenging. So most umpires would run probably 3 to 5 times a week, and then you've got your gym, and a lot of umpires do bike riding or swimming as well. In my first 2 years on the list, I was not getting through matches at all. My second year on the list, Melbourne versus Geelong, it was a kick after the siren. Max Gawn hits the post. I cramped 5 minutes into the third quarter and had to be chopped out by my other two teammates. Felt so disappointed in myself because I let the team down because I couldn't really help them out. And that's really when it clicked, like, I need to get fitter and I need to do something about this.
So there's a saying in football when you first start, you're not refereeing to get fit, you're fit to referee. And that's a big thing. You've got to be able to keep up with play for the full 90 minutes in football plus, and that's got to be the same in here.
Pushing it back. Pushing. No, you're free. You're free kick. It's a pushing it back down there. No. Oh. When he kicked it. Oh. After he kicked it.
Umpiring teaches you things you cannot buy or experience in any other industry. There's just no other industry like it. For me, being able to manage situations, so we call it manage the game, being able to do that is the number one key thing.
Same.
Essendon, throw. Actually, handball it. Okay. Going back on.
Don't get me wrong, like, your confidence gets knocked a heap when you're umpiring, but it helps build it because it helps you become resilient. You're going to cop things left, right and centre throughout your whole career. How you deal with that, how you bounce back, how you manage that, that's what umpiring teaches you.
So true with football as well. You know, you're there managing the game and you try not to give yellow, red cards and things like that to try and manage it. You're always going to have this abuse and times that knock your confidence big time. I was assaulted at the end of the last season. And oh my God, I haven't refereed since, and I'm not sure if I want to continue. But there's part of me that thinks, well, no, that means they win. So there are times that really knock your confidence, and you can't let it.
Skill. That's enough.
It teaches you how to communicate. You know, we're mic'd up. We need to be aware of what we're saying, and you need to be able to do it in a way that's calm and gets your message across.
Play on. No score.
Siren sounds tight, tactical. First half of football. Slow and methodical sometimes, fast, quick at others.
Well done.
No problems. Collingwood with the first.
The noise will tell you the story. Boom, flicks it over the top to Stringer. Should be a goal, and it is.
They need a goal and they've got it.
Heavy bomber representation at the punt road end, and Jack's just mentioned to a few of them that they can keep it down to a double raw. He can go all the way, loads it up. There it is.
Right up the punt road end. Launches a missile.
That was a good game as well, by the way. We did a live watch along for it, and it was brilliant.
That's on 5.
He's got Dacos if he wants to go there. He does by hand. Josh, nothing ahead of him.
The most challenging aspect with umpiring is probably the grey. And even though there's so much, just trying to make it as black and white as possible, and in your head knowing exactly what a free kick looks like.
Sometimes it really comes down to back yourself. You know, what you think you see is more than likely it has happened. Don't second guess your judgment, you know, because it is, as I said, it's so instinctive, and quite often your first thought is right.
I'm just amazed how similar this is. How similar these umpires' take on the game is so similar to football. And what he said about it should be black and white, but a lot of it is grey, is so similar. You know, some of the stuff is so subjective to what the referee deems as being a foul that you're going to get abuse because it's not black and white. You know, it is not black and white. A foul isn't always a clear-cut foul. Sometimes it is, granted. Sometimes there's an in-between, and you've got to take situations as well. And I didn't realise how they think is so similar to how we think as football referees.
We don't want umpires guessing. You want to be able to back your system, your 3-umpire team position where you can trust your teammate. If you don't see it, they will pay it, and that if they can give you the help via verbal comms, that you get that opportunity to take in those comms to help your decision-making process.
No. Still error.
It's not until you sort of sit back, I guess, and go, geez, we do a pretty good job. We've got a lot going on. You know, holding the ball, for example. It's all well and good to scream out ball, but for us, we've got to go through quite a bit of a process, but make the decision like that.
Cameron, De Goey
So
ran
true.
out of trouble and into trouble.
On the ball.
Is the tackle legal? Like pushing the back, high tackle, and then bit of a flow chart from there, right? Yeah, it's legal. Okay. They've had prior, or have they not had prior? Jake Stringer's case, he hadn't had prior. Does he make an attempt? No. Does he drop the ball on the ground? Yes.
On the ball. Stand. Incorrect disposal. Dropped it.
As a kid that took up umpiring, because I used to get frustrated with the local umpire, I wish more people would do that. More people get involved and have a go at umpiring.
It's, once again, it's so true. So many fans, coaches and managers complain about the referees. And I'm one of them. I will complain, if a referee, bearing in mind I've got the perspective of a referee, but, all these people that want to moan about the referees, they don't then do it themselves. They don't take the course. They don't do it themselves. So what right do they have to really complain about the referee when they don't know how difficult it is? They don't have to make those split-second decisions. As they said, there's phases, but they've got to make the decision like that. It's frustrating as a referee. It really, really is.
Give it a go. It's much harder than watching it from the couch.
Definitely.
I love umpiring with the young guys. They keep you motivated and energised, and I guess they keep pushing you to make sure that you're setting the high standards that they want to achieve. We're all even, and I always tell whoever I umpire with, whether it's a 300 game plus umpire or a first season umpire, I'll tell them I will make a mistake today. So make sure you're in a position to pay it. Give them that confidence and that support, knowing that, hey, I will make a mistake, and when you make a mistake, I'll have your back.
That time that we take for us feels like quite a while, but in actual fact it's probably only an extra second. But that's sometimes all we need to be able to let things unfold and go, okay.
Grundy outsized.
Hind was on the mark, told him to stand. Grundy hasn't gone off his line. He moves, so I go, he's moved. And I haven't called play on, 50.
50.
Moments throughout the game, 84,204 people there or whatever it was loud and awesome.
Big noise, players can't hear the umpire.
We just look at each other when the crowd's going berserk and just smile and go, this is awesome.
And Collingwood have got home.
Pulsating footy at the NCG. In the end, it was the Magpie.
Not even the umpires wanted Collingwood to win, though, did they? Let's be honest. No one wants Collingwood to win.
Good enough by 11 points.
Main thing, at the end of the day, we did a good job and we walked off, very pleased with how we went and really soaked it up.
We stayed calm, we stayed composed. We finished off really strongly. Everything that this team has prided itself on over the last 6 weeks, executed again today.
I said handball when you were in the middle.
Oh, yeah, I remember the one now. Yeah, I was about to play it. Yeah, that was awesome. But I was going to play old Yeah, it was. Yeah, man, he was squatting down. Like that's team. From a team perspective, our performance was solid. We sort of didn't intervene unless we sort of had to. It was a pretty free-flowing game, and we sort of just sat back, enjoyed the occasion, and then paid the free kicks that we sort of had to pay.
See, this is the only thing I struggle with. Now, in football, there's a team of 3. One person in the middle that basically runs the game and the 2 linos that are there to assist. I don't know how I would be able to work with 2 others in the middle, because the three umpires in the middle have sort of equal responsibility, right? They're on the same level. Obviously, the linos on the outside are a lower level, and obviously the goal umpires are obviously do next to nothing. Anyway, I don't know how easy that is to work cohesively with the 2 other umpires in the middle. That's a challenge in itself that I've never had to do.
So I immersed myself in the week, and you know what? I'm still coming down from it because it was so awesome. It was a great build-up. The game was fantastic. The guys I was with were awesome. We did a good job.
We're super accountable in our assessments. We have umpires get rotated out, perform most weeks, decisions here or there. So we're super accountable. We're the harshest critics on ourselves. You still look and challenge yourself individually and as the team you're umpiring with. How can we get better? How can we get that right? Because we hate watching the game back and going, oh,
why didn't I get that right?
That's wrong, or that's an error. We hate that. But you blow your whistle and you live and die by it, whether it's right or wrong. Unfortunately, you don't get that second or third super slow replay that's on Channel 7 or Fox Footy. You don't get that.
That's the thing people don't understand and appreciate. It's all well and good the pundits replaying over and over again, but as a referee umpire, you get one view, and that's your view, not the camera's view. It's your view. Sometimes you miss things. Sometimes it's your blind side. It's not easy.
First big Anzac Day, pretty much they can tick that box. They can tick any game. So take all the confidence from the way you handled, one, the appointment, but then two, to perform on the day.
Probably before my time, umpiring was very individually focused. Now it's very team focused and about getting the right result as a team. We don't want someone else in our team to to stuff up or have an error. Like, we want to try and avoid that as much as possible because we care about each other so much.
I've loved the people along the way. Doesn't matter whether it's here at the AFL or, junior football. Obviously my parents and grandparents have had a significant influence, but the people you meet come from a diverse range of backgrounds. They've got diverse experiences. You get to spend quality time with these people. I love that aspect.
Both of you, the support comms that you gave me in the last quarter, where I think I might have even blown the whistle almost. It was that close, I don't know, but it was that close. And just, that's what team is, yeah, in those moments where I can't see if there's a handball or not, and you just come over the comms with handball. I think the most fulfilling part of being an AFL field umpire for me is that I have a role to play in one of the greatest sports in the world as an umpire. Without umpires, there's no game.
I know that community umpiring groups are just like this group, the camaraderie. They have a bit of a laugh when they train together. A fantastic thing to be a part of. And I wish more people just give it a go, because once they give it a go, I think they get pretty hooked on it pretty quick.
Wow. There you go. I hope you found that interesting. I found it really interesting how similar the process is and the mindset is to what I know as a football referee. I found it fascinating. I really, really did. Brilliant little mini movie there. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to, why don't you go and give it a try? Become an AFL umpire, become a football referee, become a rugby referee. Be a part of your game. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.